I love you, Lord, for your mercy ever. Blessed greetings, everybody. For your mercy never fails me all my days. See, I love you, Lord. Blessed everybody. Greetings, everybody. Welcome. So greetings, everybody. Greetings. Wagwan. What's going on? Everybody? Gillette, I see you're in the building. Gillette Brooks is in the building. Andre McDonald. Joan, the usual suspect. The usual suspects are here. Michelle Wildman, big up yourself. Donna. Wagwan, Donna. Big up yourself. Good to see you. Arville Black. What's going on, Sir B? How is my good parish of St. Mary doing, my brother? I trust that all is well. Leon Robinson, big up yourself. Greetings. Welcome to the block. We are back. We are on. We are live. Miss Pattison, big up yourself. Good to see you as well. I trust that you all are doing well this evening. Well, we have a very good discussion lined up because we want to talk about why is it important that the next general election is won by the JLP. It's going to be a very important one. And we are live. We're live on all media. We're live on TikTok. Well, we're not on TikTok yet. We're going to be on TikTok in a minute. But we are live on YouTube. We're live on Facebook. We're live on X, formerly Twitter. Let me just do a quick check to see if we're coming through okay. I don't know. It's look like we're having a little bit of a glitch here. I don't know what's going on. Is it an internet issue? I don't know. Come on, Starlinks, do better than that. I know Starlinks can do us better than that. Let's see what we're pushing out. Doesn't seem like we're getting the maximum from Starlink. But yeah, share the program, everybody. Tell a friend, tweet a friend, call a friend, phone a friend. Tell a friend we're on. We're live. We're live on all media, and we're going to be live on. We're going to be live on TikTok in just a few minutes as well. But yes, why is it important that the next general election, the JLP have to win? They have no choice. Jamaica has really and truly, absolutely zero choice in the matter. You have no choice, Jamaica. Because we know what the alternative and the history will be. So we're gonna have to fix that. So that's the discussion this evening. Why is it important for the JLP to win the next general election? Eastern St. Thomas is in the building. Do we have anybody from Clarendon? Do we have anybody from St. Thomas? Do we have anybody from St. James? How about St. Elizabeth? Clarendon? Kingston and St. Andrew? Westmoreland? Hanover? Anybody from Sir Taylor? Big up yourself. Big up yourself. Angel, big up yourself. Good to see you. So let me know if we're coming through okay. Is the audio good? Is the visual good? I don't know. I'm getting a little bit of low. Hey Steve, how you doing? Good to see you, Steve. So let me know if we're coming through okay. Good night to you, Anita Earl. Good evening, my dear. Good to see you. Well, yeah. So we are going to have So for those of you who are on, the only admission you pay, because tonight there's a fee to get in here, man. We're going to be charging tonight, and the fee to get in here is to make sure you share this to at least 10 persons. If you share it to 10 individuals, then your admission is covered. If you don't share it to 10 individuals, then you're going to be kicked out of town, man. How about that? Moisha, big up yourself. Good to see you. Deshaun, big up yourself. Geneva in Switzerland, big up yourself. We're at 50. Bring us up to 100 real quick so we can kick it off like a ball. We're going to touch base with our folks over on TikTok and invite them over here, because we're not going to stay on TikTok tonight, because we are going to be on this side of town. So, yeah. Share the program, everybody. Tell a friend, tweet a friend. Canada, originally from where? St. Catherine. Oh, Andrew Wheatley's constituency. You know, so Wheatley the boss, the general, that, right? But yeah, welcome everybody. Share the program, tell a friend, tweet a friend, tell everybody we are on. We are live in living colors. Yeah, we are notifying our friends over on TikTok to join us. The JLP must win the next election. Yeah, that's the... Yeah, they have to win the next election. Let's see if we are going to get the folks on to join us over here. No, they'll be crap out of luck, because we are not going to be staying on TikTok tonight. We're going to be on trying to find some additional Trisha Lily, what's going on with you? Garfield, original Garfield Reed. Garfield, it is important for the JLP to win the next general election. It's not just important for me, it's important for Jamaica. And I'm certain you will agree with me, Garfield, that we cannot afford for another PNP administration to take over this country. I know you will agree with me. We don't agree on a lot of things, Garfield, but I'm certain you will agree on that the JLP will have to win the next general election. But greetings everybody. Go ahead and share the program. I'm gonna take 30 seconds to just find a thing here. Stand by, stick and stay. All right, so welcome back, everybody. Welcome back, welcome back, welcome back. We are still live. We're on. Um, let's tell a friend to tweet a friend and tell another friend to tell another friend that we are live. We are live and we are on all media. Yeah, just in case you missed us, we are live and we're on all media. So I'm just setting this up, guys, so we can still make sure that our friends over on TikTok is a part of the discussion and that they won't feel left out. So here it is, folks. There it is. Boom. All right. So we are on. We are on right here. Boom. Yes. So share the program, folks. Why is it important? Why is it a must? Why is it that we have absolutely zero choice in the matter? Why is it that we have to keep on pressing on? Why is it that we should not get discouraged because the PNP won 15 divisions that they didn't have in the last local government election, even though that was not sufficient to overturn and to make them the winner of the local government election? Very important. Why is it that we should not get discouraged? Why is it that we should continue to work hard? Because what we are doing is not just for us, but it is always for the greater good of the country. So I'm sitting around the golden microphone with half my brain tied behind my back just to make the competition fair. Bring it on, if you may. Bring it on, if you may. We're not going to be staying on TikTok for too long. So my TikTok folks, you need to hop on over. We are live on YouTube. We're live on Instagram. We're live on Facebook. We're live on X. And we're also on TikTok. So, hey, and my TikTok folks, you know what, man? I don't even know how to turn off my TikTok. I just cannot, because my TikTok folks are here. Chuck Finley's in the building. I see Angela. I see Ardale. I see Daniel. I see Tiara, Taira. I see all my TikTokers there in the building as well. So, folks, Brian Fraser, how you doing, man? Good to see you. Good to see you, Mr. Foster. Big up yourself. Audrey, what's going on with you, Audrey? I trust that all is well. E. Phillips, what's going on? 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 So, yes, folks. So, it's an important journey that we're on. The JLP is stranger. They're not, well, let me say this. The JLP is no stranger to the situation that they're found themselves in terms of a desire to serve for a third term. They are absolutely no strangers where that is concerned. They have been in this situation before. Let me see if I can get this thing angled right. Yeah, no, it's not going to happen. But they have been in this situation before. And there is a lot of lessons to be learned. The JLP is quite aware of what it takes to actually go into a third term. They've been there before. This is not the JLP's first rodeo. We have been in this situation before, and we would have learned a few things. Now, folks, let me just tell you. Hi, Swavy. Bartley Swavy. How you doing, Sir Bartley? Good to see you, sir. Ted Roy Lyons. What's going on? What's going on? Wes, big up yourself. Steve Donaldson. Steve Donaldson, big up yourself. Yeah, so we are treading down a path that we have been down before. We are definitely no stranger. We have been there back in 1972. And you know, I like to talk about 1972. Some people say, Chopper, why you love to talk about 1972? So 1972 is very significant, not just to me, but to Jamaica. Because 1972 marks the highest economic growth that Jamaica has ever seen in the country's history. And that was was under the JLP. So I'm extremely proud of that period. And that's why I will always talk about that period. But not just because it's an important milestone politically and economically, but also because it actually acts as a guide. It acts as a guide for us, because it is important for us to go back now and look at it and say, yeah, it's for us to go back and look at it and say to ourselves, what went wrong in that period? Why we lost that election? That election is very important because it carries a lot of similarities to the current situation that we now enjoy as Jamaicans. And that's why I want to say to people that it is important. We lost an entire generation between 70 and 79, or between 70 and 89. We pretty much lost a generation of folks who should have been better. Where Jamaica is today in terms of growth and development and how good we are as a country and how we're looking good and economic growing and we're building out highways and we're building out infrastructure. Jamaica should have been in that position long ago. It is because of the mismanagement during that period why we had such low growth and low performance. So we lost out on a lot of opportunities. Chuck Finley, what I say? We lost out on a lot of opportunities back then. So it's important, and we're not dwelling on the 70s, folks. We're not dwelling on it. It is not something for us to dwell on, but it is definitely something for us to use as a yardstick. We should learn from that period. As a party, we should learn. As a government, we should learn. And as a people, most importantly, as a people, we should learn. Because the Jamaican people should learn and appreciate why is it important for us not to make the same mistake we made then. Because if we had continuity back in the 70s, if we had continued on the same path of economic growth and development from 1972, I'm quite certain that Jamaica today would have been as good as Singapore. Jamaica would have been as good as Singapore if we had continued from where we left off in 1972. Having the highest economic growth and robust growth and development during that period, we would have been at a better place if we had just continued. And the question must be asked, why is it? What happened? Why we switched gear or we went off rail? We did. And the country paid dearly. Jamaica paid dearly between 1972, and I put on the shirt because this shirt, I wore the shirt the last time I delved into the 70s. So I want to reiterate some things here. We went off course. Had we continued on the same path, just think about some of the things that we could have done differently. We had bauxite. Bauxite at that time was like gold today. Where Guyana is today with the discovery of billions of barrels of oil, Jamaica was at that point in the 60s with bauxite. The world was just discovering that mineral, and we had a good stash of it until we still have it today. 40 years, 50 years, 60 years later, we still have it today. Now, yes, we got some money from bauxite levy and all that good stuff, but think about a couple of things that we could have done differently. What if instead of what Michael did, which is to chase these crazy ballheads out of town, according to him, chase those capitalists out of town? Come on, folks. I I have my own personal view on unbridled capitalism, because I just don't support. Yeah, I just don't support capitalism without certain level of control, because unbridled capitalism sometimes can be detrimental to a society. But when you come in like during that period in the 70s and you just chase out the people out of town, when you could have sat with those backside owners and said, look here, man, instead of taking this backside out of the country and taking it elsewhere for production, why not bring the production to us in Jamaica? Where's Arville? He's no 10 times fooler than a fool who won. I don't understand that, Arville. But whatever it is. Say it again. I can't interpret all of them. What do you mean by that? Who sound oh Jaja. Who sound 10 times fooler, Arville? Anyway, good evening, Gene. Good evening, Gene. How you doing? But yeah, if we had just invited those backside, if we had just invited those backside, backside, backside owners at the time to bring those smelter plants into Jamaica, and instead of shipping the backside out, you bring plants in and you set up factories here so the end products from backside could be manufactured in Jamaica. Had we taken that approach back in the 70s, instead of creating an environment that was unstable for those capitalists and make it be them against us, I believe that Jamaica today, Arville, would have been 10 times better than it is today. Because today we would have been the manufacturers of some of the greatest products coming from bauxite and alumina. Instead, we chase them out of town and we suffer the consequences because we took we took a major wrong turn as it relates to economic growth and development. And we're paying the price today. Because if you look at countries who were way behind us at the time, and I always like to use Singapore as an example, because Singapore was behind us. Singapore was nowhere near us at the time. We were among the strongest economy as a small economy. We were among the strongest. And because of those bad decisions, we ended up in trouble. Now, and why I keep saying it is because it is important for us, not just as a government, to really keep the 70s in our mind. It is important for us as a people as well, because it wasn't the government alone who made some really crazy decisions back in the 70s, The people did. Because when the people voted out a government that was given the sort of results that the JLP was given back then, it begs to question. What are you saying? Are you saying you want the PNP to win in these areas, Chris? What areas? You don't need to jump on the live and come talk to me, man. You need to, let me share the link so you guys can have a say. I don't want to be ranting by myself because I will seem to have some things here to say and I want to pick his brain as well. So I'm gonna share a link in the chat. If you so desire and you want to come on, you can. There's a link in the chat. You just click on that and it will bring you in. If you want to come live on camera, if you don't want to come on camera, it's there. But yeah, no. I would never ever say that. No. I would never ever say that. We say right now the JLP should never be worried about the next election if the MP was doing well. That's true, you know. It is yeah, that's true. If the MPs were doing their jobs, we wouldn't have to be worried about it. I don't think we are worried about the next election, but what I'm saying to you is that a third term has never been an easy task, not just for this government, but almost globally. If you check the political climate globally, you will agree that a third term in most countries and in most political space is always a very, let me just change this microphone around the guys, is always a very challenging task, you know. It is not the easiest thing to win a third term. My apologies there, but I had to just switch this microphone around. It was giving a little feedback here from this angle. All right, good. Yeah, so a third term was never an easy task. A third term was never an easy task. A third term was always an uphill task, not just for us in Jamaica, but it is a global phenomenon, and everybody knows that. Midterm into even a first term is always challenging, and it doesn't really hinge on the amount of work you do. It's just the nature of people. People like changes. People like, you know, you have to really force, you struggle to get people to accept that, look, the government is doing well. As a matter of fact, Jamaica is a classic example, and the JLP is a classic example. Look at the performance of the government now, Arville, and you tell me if you know, if we should really campaign. You shouldn't even have to campaign. If performance was what really win election, the JLP shouldn't have to campaign. Chalk the cheese when you match the two government together. But because people are very fickle and people are different, you have to treat this, you have to treat it different. And that's why it's important for us to not just look at it as another election and just say, well, yeah, we'll perform, and yeah, the government did well, and the economy is growing, and the macroeconomy versus the microeconomy, blah, 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 blah. No, you have to actually, in some instances, you have to actually go out there and feed people. And you ask the question, you know, some very, very simple question. And I'm happy. The result of this last local government election, it put our political system and the psyche of the voters into perspective. And it also gives the government a glorious opportunity. They did not have the opportunity they have today. Well, back in the 70s, they didn't have that opportunity in 72. They didn't have the luxury of a local government election before a general election that gave them a real-time canvas or a real-time understanding of what to expect. They didn't have the luxury of a local government election before a general election back in 1989. Yes, they had it 3 years before, which really you couldn't consider that to be a local an election before because it was so far back. But this one, you literally have 18 months, you know, constitutionally due. And you had a local before that tell you exactly how the atmosphere is, the temperature, the political temp. But 86, that's what I said, 86 was 3 years out, Andrew. 86 was 3 years out. This is 18 months. So if you have a local government election 3 years before a general, you're really having it 2 years after the general. So, you know, anyway, yeah. So you have more ammunition today than you had in in 1970, in the 60s, and coming up to the 72 election, and you have more ammunition going into this one than you had in 1989. The question I've always asked is why the Jamaican people voted for the JLP, for the PNP in 1989, and why they voted for the PNP in 1972. Those are the two political periods that Jamaica saw significant growth in the economy. I have absolutely no doubt, Arvin, that we will win the next general election. Will we win by 49 seats? Probably that's a stretch. Because if you really check it, the last general election in 2020 was kind of an outlier, you know. It was kind of an outlier. It didn't measure up like the others. And as such, welcome, Bragg. How you doing? Greetings. We have a caller. Blessings. Robinson, blessings.
Nice. How you doing?
Very well, sir. Yourself?
Yeah, my thing is what I was saying. The government needs to get on the ground now. I think what they did while they lost the local government election.
We just lost the local government election. Explain that first.
Well, they almost, and we must be fair and fact that we almost lost it based upon what we have seen.
Yes.
We have to take that into consideration that we cannot wait until the election is near. We go out on the road. It's time now to do the groundwork. It's time.
Mm-hmm. And when you say do the groundwork, what does doing the groundwork represent? What does that mean for you?
They need some person, some pointsman on the ground who will go into the community, every gully, every trenches, and bring the vision of the Jamaica Labour Party to the people. Bring the facts, because what the Jamaica Labour Party did in a trap, they allowed the PNP to get away with a lot of propaganda. They do not down from the beginning. They don't not smash it. They allow them to run with it. And people believe in propaganda, if you understand now. If you remember when Crystal, that lady that did run against, I think it was Juliet, she run against Cockburn Flynn somewhere there. When the PNP lost that 2016 election, you remember what her remark was? That the PNP...
No, I don't remember. Remind us.
She said they ramp up their propaganda machine. I never forget that.
She said what?
The PNP should ramp up their propaganda machine. She said they should pump money into the propaganda machine. I have never forget that. And if you go, you can check and Google. She said it. And this is what...
Because they believe in that. They believe in it. Propaganda is a part of the PNP's structure.
That is their strategy?
Yes.
They have no vision. So what they do, they grow and spread lies. But the government...
Let me ask you this though. When you look at what the government has done within the last few months, in terms of attacking the propaganda itself, the Prime Minister did that in Parliament. The Minister of Finance also did that. And we saw Matthew Semuda coming out, debunking some of the misinformation. We saw Nesta Morgan doing that. Would it safe to say that you have seen some changes where attacking the PNP propaganda is concerned? Or do you think that there's a lot more that can be done?
There's a lot more to do going forward.
Yes.
There's a lot more to do. We have to do some more. And the thing is, sometimes I talk, people may think I'm a bit, because I'm been on social media and I've tried my best. I have worked for the Jamaica Labour Party. I said I have worked 2016 very hard without a dollar because I wanted the party to win at that time. I worked in the Northwest St. Elizabeth.
Northwest. Oh, good. Good.
Right. So what I'm saying, the government need to do at this moment is that the communication, you and I know, it's weak. They need to appoint somebody to help with ESTA. I believe they need somebody. And what the JLP need to do now is launch a media program, just like yours now. You're
Yes.
trying to bring message to the people. The JLP need their own media program like this, where they launch and quote all social media network, where they bring the message to the people. They need something like this.
Because the truth is, right now we are live. We're live on Facebook. We're live on Facebook at Chops Media. Sorry, at Chopping Block. We're live on our YouTube channel, which is the Chops Media. We are live on X at Chops Media. We also Chops Media on TikTok as well. So by the click of a button, we're live on several platforms.
I hear you touch a point earlier that
Yes.
this government, now let me say it. I'm in my 40s. And I remember 1989, I was 9 years old when Edward Seaga lost that election. I don't forget things. At that time, if the PMP did continue with those programs that Seaga set after the hurricane, Jamaica would be in a better condition today.
And that is important, and that is why we're having this discussion, because we are getting closer to a point where we might have to make the same decision again. We will have to decide whether or not we continue on the path of growth and development, or we revert to economic disaster. It is very important for us to continue to remind people. There are young people here,
They're willing to try somebody I've never seen done anything before. Mark Golding, I have no confidence in Mark Golding. Mark Golding,
but you see, while Mark Golding was not the leader or has never been a prime minister in Jamaica before, the Jamaican people, especially young people, must understand the policies and the intention of these guys who want to take state power. The PNP has not changed. They have never changed their. Let me just mute you for a second. You have a little feedback. Coming right back to you, though, Mr. Robbins. No more. But the PNP has never changed, guys. The PNP today is very little difference from the PNP back then. What you might find different today is that the leaders of the PNP is somewhat different. Mark Golding and Peter Bunting are different political animals. And you're going to have to deal with them differently. The way they approach politics is different. You're dealing with people who are financially capable. They can put money and decide what the outcome of an election is going to be. And it's a very serious situation. So that is why we have to remind people that every single time that the PNP takes office, the country pedal backwards. And we're not saying this because we support the Jamaica Labour Party or we support the government. We are a pro-government channel. So we're going to say these things. No, because this position can be backed up by facts. This position can be supported by facts. They have never run this country and came out with great success. That's why, Mr. Robinson, I found it difficult to accept when the PNP look at you and tell you that the best days, some of their best days were in the 1990s. For who? For who? The best days in the 90s? For who? The 90s saw one of the most devastating economic period, social period in this country was during the 1990s. Can you imagine all those industries, those companies that came up during the 80s, successful companies, helping to drive? So I'm sounding worried. Worried about what, Everton? I'm not. No, I'm worried about the Jamaican people and how they think. That's what I'm worried about. I'm worried about the risk of money becoming the deciding factor as to who run this country. Of course, I'm worried about that. I'm worried about the direction in which our voters are going when they are allowing people with the deepest pocket to influence how they vote. Of course, I have to be worried about that. But I'm not worried about the government's performance and what the government has done and how the country's economy is going. I'm not worried about that. I'm worried about the direction in which our voters are going and how people are allowing money to dictate who run this country. That is what, not just me, that is what you as well, Everton, needs to be very worried about. Because the time we start to use money as a decider as to who form government in Jamaica, that's the time we turn our economy, we turn our constitution right back to the 1940s. So you have to start, you have to think about that. We have a democratic system in Jamaica, and for me, based on what I am observing, it is coming under severe stress. It is coming under pressure from persons who are hell-bent that money must be the decider. So of course you have to be worried about that. Blessed Betsy. Well, the IC and their political role. Let me tell you, we can talk about the IC as much as we want, but the truth is, if we follow the requirements and answer the questions when they are asked, if there are questions that you can answer, because the truth is, sometimes I find it difficult. I don't understand how people respond to some of the things that the IC requests, because IC will go as far back as 10, 15 years. There's no cap where that is concerned. And when they go as far back, Mr. Robinson, you're having a feedback there. I'm getting a huge feedback. So I keep muting here.
Okay.
Yeah. But they have to go as far back as 10, 15 years sometime. And when the IC asks you to provide an invoice or provide a receipt or provide something that is 10, 15 years old, sometimes it's difficult to honor those obligations. So, not all the time when certain things are not supplied, it means that there's something untoward happening. No, because I've experienced situations where IC is requesting documents that are aged documents. They're very, very old documents, and it's difficult sometimes to find them. And as such, if you're not careful, you are labeled as unresponsive, because the truth is sometimes you just can't find these documents. But not saying that is the case. But yeah, but we have to be worried, folks. And we have to be careful. We have to learn from our mistakes. We have to learn. We have to look at those two particular periods. They are very two important periods in Jamaica's history: 1989 election and 1972. And those two periods, the JLP lost to the PNP. And we need to ask ourselves the question: what happened then, and ensure that we put systems in place to prevent them from happening. Now, the JLP is a different entity from the government, and I hope people will start to appreciate that there's two different messages there, and there's two different ways in which to deal with certain things. Chopper, I heard the PNP is transferring people from Rima to Portmore and other constituencies to vulnerable JLP seats in order to win them. Yeah, that is something I've heard. I've heard that they're transferring votes over into Big Rob seat. It is not something that is strange. It is illegal if it is done a particular way. And how do you fight against that? How do you win that fight where votes are being transferred in a particular era to get a certain result? The winning formula to that is to make sure that the persons who you have as your electoral office scrutineers are excellent scrutineers. If your scrutineers are good, on point, up to par, know the rules, know what they need to do, they would definitely put a spanner in those spokes. They would definitely put a spanner in those spokes because it's not hard to really push against that. It's very, very easy. Just make sure that your scrutineers are strong people who know the electoral rules and can put up a fight. Very easy. Very easy. I have seen situations where there was a particular candidate whose brother was wanted to get transferred into St. James Central, and the persons who were scrutineers insist that that could not happen because you did not live in the area. The rules are there, you know. The rules say you must reside in the area for a particular period of time, and even if on the day when the electoral office representative and the scrutineers go to verify you and you're actually at the premises, which is one of the requirements, they can still protest and say, even though you're here, we don't believe that you live here. And you can force that situation. You can go as far as to the courts. You fight that to the death. You don't stop. You block them. So when they try to transfer votes into an area, you just block them. You have to know the ground game. You have to know what to fight, how to fight, and how to win the fight. Share the folks, share the program, folks. Tell a friend that we're live. And yeah, but very two important period there, Sir Evening. The period of 1972 and 1989. And what's unique about those two periods? Those are the two periods that the JLP lost to the PNP, even though the JLP had stellar performance during those two periods. Great economic growth and development, and we still lost to the PNP. We're paying the political price for those two mistakes, though. If you ask me, we're still paying them today. But yeah, so another big ticket item out there in the discourse is the water crisis that we're in now. Jamaica is going through drought. And yeah, and there you go. Refuse to sign the form. You don't have to sign off on it. And if you don't sign off on it, that person cannot be confirmed as a resident in the division or in the constituency. So the electoral office persons who folks like Big Rob have in place should be some strong people. I made this recommendation some time ago that all the divisional chairmen who have lost need to morph themselves into scrutineers. They need to be the scrutineer who goes out on a Sunday to verify people. And it is an important function for them because they're not motivated by the money. So in other words, the electoral office pays about $500 or so $100 per person for every individual that you confirm. Why is it important to put people in those positions that are not motivated by money? Is because when you put people who are motivated by the money, what they will do is they will sign off on persons, even though they're not sure, even though, they probably shouldn't, but they are going to be signing off on those because it put money in their pocket. So you should your scrutineer should really be your caretakers now. your divisional caretakers, because that acts as a double positive for you. You have somebody who's not motivated by the money, and you have somebody who is going to ensure that they familiarize themselves with every individual who is added to the voters list. So that is why one of the recommendations is that it should be an instruction issued by the Secretariat to all constituency chairmen that your divisional chairs, who are caretakers, not necessarily councillors, caretakers, should be your scrutineers. And even if you want to have somebody else on the team who will receive the payment, but you, the caretaker, should be a part of that team, because it is your duty now to ensure that the thing is done, and it is done properly, and it is not just motivated by money, but it is done properly. Yeah. And you challenge, because you're having difficulty. People are talking about this for the last couple of weeks now, about transferring votes and all that good stuff. Yeah, the PNP is going to do it. So it is our duty to ensure that we follow up and we fight against it. And as Pachora just put on the screen a while ago, one of the strategy is to block them, is to challenge them every time they come into the area. You know they're not living there, challenge it. Don't sign off on that form. If you don't believe that that person lives in the constituency, have legitimately transferred their vote, you challenge it. Challenge it. And you can challenge it out even to the court if you have to. You know? No one at the age of 80 and over should not be contesting any election. I don't know what you mean by that when you say nobody at the age of 80 and over should be contesting an election. When did our constitution says that there was an age limit on persons who, age limit, not minimum age, but age limit in terms of who can contest the election? If you can't find that, then we really have no bones to pick there. I would agree with you that there has to be some movements of persons, changing up and getting some fresh bloods in and all that good stuff. I would agree with that. But to just use age as a factor to dismiss people, I don't support that. So those two political periods, as I said to you before, folks, are perhaps the two most important periods in Jamaica and in Jamaica's history. And it is two periods in which the JLP have to now start to look at those periods. And welcome Vega, how you do? Send Mr. Vegas a link, man. If you want to join us, I'd love to have him on if he has some time to join us. We're talking about the two political periods that the JLP had stellar economic performance, which was in the 1960s, coming into the 70s, and the 1980s leading up to 1989. We look at why is it that the JLP would have lost those two elections, one in 72, one in 89, given the fact that they had very great economic performance. And why are we talking about that? Because we have found ourselves today in the same position where we are having great economic performance, and we know that there's an election somewhere in the making, and we are very concerned also that the electorate in Jamaica is motivated by financial stimulation. In other words, you're hearing concern about road can't eat and all these good stuff. And I don't know if I really want to go down that road. I don't know if I want to go down that road, because as the Prime Minister outlined recently, it is hard for us to look at infrastructure development and separate it from bread and butter. Because you can't have one without the other. You're not going to be able to deal with the bread and butter issue until you deal with the infrastructure and the economy. It is the infrastructure, the development that brings money into the coffers. In other words, if you don't create the cash, how are you going to care? So when you hear people talk about, oh boy, I not feel it, I tend sometimes to be a little bit weary on how we put that in context, because it's difficult to separate the two, folks. If you don't build out the country, develop the country, create employment, put people to work, build out industries, how are you going to deal with the lady, the vulnerable people in the society? Why do you think the PNP could not provide the goods and services for Jamaicans? Why do you think they couldn't do it? I don't think it's because the PNP didn't want to see Jamaica prosper. I think it's a matter that they just didn't know how. Because they didn't have their ducks in a row. They didn't have their priorities right. The PNP never believed that it was important to fix the macro, before you can fix the micro. The micro cannot fix the macro, because the micro literally feeds off the macro. If the country is not developed, if you don't have highways, if you don't bring in investment, if people don't get work, how do you grow the pie? That pie that we're all cutting into, so that every sector can get a slice of it. If you don't get that pie bigger, how are you going to be able to cut more slices from it so everybody can benefit? So I believe that there was a fundamental flaw in how the PNP think. When they talk about balancing, well, I see everybody welcoming Mr. Vegas. welcome, Vegi. Big up yourself, man. Good to see you. Can somebody send Mr. Vegas a link and see if he can join us? But yeah, so there's a negative thinking that you can actually fix the micro without fixing the macro. And perhaps that is where the problem lies, that we have always gotten the wires twisted. We really needed to focus on developing Jamaica so that persons can be gainfully employed, so that we can build more schools, so that we can build more water systems. I can't believe that, and so that we can fix the bureaucracy that exists. Chapa, you need to talk about what happening. You need to talk about what's happening in the country to get the people on the JLP side. What do you mean get the people on the JLP side? Are you saying that the people are not on the JLP side? Then when we talk about Jamaica's development, Nathan, what are we talking about? When we talk about what is happening now in terms of growth and development in Jamaica, that's exactly what we're talking about. We're talking about how this country is growing and people are benefiting. We're talking about how do we get our priorities right. We're talking about that the JLP has the right idea on how to fix Jamaica's problem, because they have approached it from a different angle as to how the PNP approach it. The PNP believe that if they come to me as a poor man, so to speak, and they give you some money, that is going to fix the problem. Nathan, if you think I'm talking rubbish, then probably you just need to log off and go where there's, a better conversation. Yeah? Yeah, if you think that what I'm saying is rubbish, then you probably need to just, you know what I mean? Take yourself elsewhere where you can get a a better feel of what's happening. But anyhow, yeah. So there's a different approach to how to fix Jamaica's problem. Because if you did not create employment to reduce the unemployment rate from what we're accustomed to, 12 and 18 and 16%, if you did not create an environment that was conducive to investment so that more people could invest, and the more people invest in Jamaica, the more people get work. The more people get work, the more taxes they pay. The more taxes they pay, the more revenue the government collects. The more revenue the government collects, the more they can give back to the people. So that cycle is working, and it's working very well for Jamaica today. Just, I never know that we could ever find a budget to pay so much money to public sector workers. Who could have thought? These were just figments of our imagination years ago. We could only dream to have such a compensation package. And it actually happened. Moving unemployment from 16 and 18% to 4.2%. That's unheard of in Jamaica. Moving minimum wage from 7,000 all the way up now to 15,000. Those are some great steps. Making heart free so more kids can go and get get tertiary education. Just think about it. You're getting paid now to go to school. At the end of your tenure at heart, they're giving you now a $50,000 grant so you can buy your tool and start your business. I mean, if you didn't grow the economy and get the pie bigger, how would you find money to do these things? Just couldn't do it. Just couldn't do it. So these are some of the things that we have to know, start to look at and say to ourselves and remind people that though you might feel a particular way as an individual, you have to look at the bigger picture. Chopper talk about the good work of the government. Yeah, but that's what I'm talking about there, Everton. But you see, everything has to come into the mix, because while we can sit here and talk about all the good things that the government is doing, there are certain negative forces. There are certain negative forces that are working against us. And that's why it is important for us to have these discussions so persons can appreciate. Look at the water situation now. Jamaica is going through a drought, serious drought, where our water catchment systems in Jamaica are at a low, all-time low, a long-time low. Jamaica uses about 250 to 260 million gallons of water per day. It's a lot of water. But ask yourself this question. How much of those water systems did the PNP put in place while they had the opportunity to run the affairs of this country? When the PNP criticized the government about water, just ask yourself the question, what have you done to correct that problem? How many of the current water system did the PNP put in place? Don't know if we can speak to too many of them. But let's listen to the Prime Minister on this one. Stick and stay.
In 2009, the country was also faced with a major drought, and we had to contemplate what was necessary for us to build out the water infrastructure, which was aging even at that time, which was totally insufficient. The Minister of Water then was Minister Horace Chang, and he developed a major project to improve not just water but sewer in Kingston and St. Andrew. It was a $1 billion project. And in that suite of projects was this project, the content water treatment plant project. So bear in mind, this is 2009. And I want to acknowledge Minister Chang for his work in conceptualizing the project. Today, the 14th of March 2024, 15 years later, we are now able to break ground for the project. There is something that every Jamaican should consider. Why did it take so long? We are never short of ideas. We know what to do. We can always get the consultants to tell us what to do and to technically get it done. The great challenge we have is, first of all, the fiscal wherewithal, meaning the public financing to support such a project. Now, there are some people who would say, this is such an important project, we should have borrowed to do it. Well, there comes a time when you just can't borrow because you don't have the space and the cost of borrowing is too high. So this was a project where the fiscal wherewithal, the ability of the government to actually fund it, either from the budget or by borrowing, just did not exist. The other issue is our administrative and bureaucratic capabilities. There's nothing wrong with bureaucracy. Bureaucracy is the ultimate symbol of any progressive modern civilization. But bureaucracy, when it becomes a stumbling block to itself, can also bring down civilizations. Bureaucracy has to become more self-aware and more efficient. And Jamaica struggles with this in its bureaucracy. As a developing country, we are tripping over ourselves with the current state of our bureaucracy. We have put in new institutions, new rules, new procedures, new processes to engineer how things get done. And it can become confusing, convoluted, and dense. We now have several layers of bureaucracy before we get to project implementation. So we have the concept design of a project. Then we assess the public investment viability. Then we go to procurement, and then we have implementation. All of those can take a very long time. You would have heard the Minister of Finance say that radical reform has to be taken now to the whole procurement process. But the entire system has to be reformed. It shouldn't be that from the concept of the project in 2009 to today that we're getting to do this project, 15 years. I point this out because as many Jamaicans express their frustrations with the pain points that they experience, whether it is in buses for public transportation, garbage trucks for collection, whether it is proper infrastructure for national security, whether it is frustration with the roads, and as we are here discussing water, the public bureaucracy must improve. And this comes down to one thing, which we have avoided in the entire conversation, and that is the productivity of our labor force and the productivity of our public sector and our public sector administration. How fast, given the laws, regulations, and rules and requirements, how fast can our technical people, our bureaucrats and technocrats navigate that landscape to deliver projects that are free of any hint of corruption, that are efficient in the use of public funds, and that deliver the benefits to the people? That is really the great challenge that we face. And as Prime Minister, that is where my efforts will be and continue to be in ensuring that we can deliver these projects. By the way, this is a $77 million project. The government will not borrow to fund this project. 12 billion Jamaican dollars. The minister who I've placed in charge of looking at these water projects, Minister Matty Samuda, has done an excellent job in pulling the project through the system. And there are several other projects that are slated to be done in water. We understand, we do really understand all the challenges that are faced, but it does take some time, and we are working as fast as we can. and we even commit to work faster.
Yeah, so there you have it. That's the Prime Minister outlining. And what's important about that particular project is that it was conceptualized by Dr. Chang back in 2009. Think about it, folks. 2009. The PNP came in office in 2012. And can you imagine that for all that period, they did nothing at all to the project? So when I tell you that that's the type of person, that Nathaniel guy, he's kicked out for a moment. We don't want to have that distraction. So we kicked him out. And I hope my admins over here on TikTok is doing the same thing. Hold these guys and kick them out whenever they come with their distraction. But when you look at the time that project was there and nothing was done. Nothing was done. It took the JLP to come back in office again to get it done. Now, mark you, perhaps the PNP at the time could not do it because they didn't have the money. That's what I'm saying. You have to have the cash to care. There might have been very well good intent to get water, or to set up these water systems, but they just could not. They just could not generate the cash to care. Well, thank God we have a government that knows how to get that done, and they are fixing the water problem. Jamaica don't necessarily have a water problem, you know. What Jamaica have is a water distribution problem. The PNP has not contributed to that 250 million gallon of water that we use per day. They have not contributed to it in any significant way. What they seem to do is to try to come with propaganda. Now, we're going through a drought, and the government decide to issue some water tanks to alleviate some of the strain and the problem, and so people can have some storage. Because we don't know when this drought is going to cut. But to be on the safer side, the government said, look, let's put aside some funds, let's put some money into this and ensure that we shore people up. And instead, the PNP tried to create a lot of distraction by going around with there's a let me go to this one here. There's a tank distribution system. Matter of fact, before I go there, let me play what the clarification that let me play the clarification that Minister Samuda spoke about. And you guys would have heard Minister Samuda in the Senate talking about this. Let's listen to this together.
And I saw a video that showed some old trucks that were bought by former Minister Blythe. Firstly, if they were bought by former Minister Blythe, you wouldn't expect them to still be alive today. That's the first contemplation. The next issue, and what Jamaicans should be aware of, is that those trucks, and should remember, because, you know, memories are short, right? Person should remember that we got all of a year out of those trucks because they were not fit for purpose for Jamaica's terrain. The gearboxes did not work. That the government even explored legal action in trying to recover the funds because of that. So sharing something that collapsed under a former PNP administration and trying to put it on this administration is quite something. Now, we also need to remember, and allow me to bring this up, the project was not, because you can't call it a good system, it was a disaster. The rapid response system was a disaster. But it was also fraught with audit challenges and several corruption allegations, Mr. President. And it was shut down by this administration to cut off a ridiculous feeding tree for the former administration's political activists. Mr. President, that program was cut off by this administration because it presided over significant leakage, and we're not taking back. We're not taking it back. That's a fact, Mr. President. Mr. President, this administration transferred the assets to the Ministry of Local Government, so the assets are in use for service delivery of the Jamaican people without any governance issues. We have also continued to invest, rather not just on a monthly basis, on an annual basis. Last year we bought 8 additional trucks for the National Water Commission. This year we're in procurement right now for 8 additional trucks, and we will buy another 8 next year. And if we continue needing space, we will build in that emergency response, Mr. President. But make no bones about it, and the people watching at home must know that those trucks were from a failed PNP investment, and it also hurt Jamaica's water delivery systems because it was a lot of the money was wasted, Mr. President. And I'm not going to we're not going to pull back our resile from that fact. It is a legacy of failure.
Thank you, Minister Samuda. And I think that was very timely. It was a very timely response in putting it on record, because sometimes the PNP just believe that Jamaicans have short memory and they won't remember. Right? That water program project that the PNP was headed by Dr. Carl Blight at the time, I believe, and there were other players in there. People even went to jail during that time for that whole mismanagement there. Right? So that was a failed initiative by the PNP, and for them to come and to make it seem as though it was something that they are proud of, I'm really not surprised, because if the PNP tells you that the 1990s was their best year, then that tells you that these guys are living in a world, in a very crazy world. Yeah. So that's the misinformation that they are providing. And Mr. Hales down in Westmoreland, he should be ashamed of himself to really promoting some of these things. There's another video here that he had sent, and I wanted to share it with you guys because it's also a part of the propaganda and misinformation that exists out there. And I think we have a duty to ensure that it doesn't hit, where it needs not to. So we're gonna play it here.
Here. Come on, let's see. Say, mega sure to know. This morning, me get up out of my bed bright and early and go to St. Elizabeth. Actually, we actually live in a St. and do business down here. So since I'm lately, we actually start reside in Westmoreland. Try that door open. Let me try get that way open. Yeah, see there? 2 more jump. Maybe your father send me up for. Alright, so at one point me think I'm not really owe nobody an explanation and what we are do with them jump here and why, and cause some people are say we can't wash do with so much jump. The jumps were put there because my baby father him draw water and sell to houses full of drums and tank. Now from the other day hotel draw water. And him there on the all for the whole day in the line, him want a truck down here. Ask people, him want a water truck there Westmoreland come from God knows where. Him want a people that come down, water shortage down here, and truck from all boat come down, come draw water. Whoever do business in a home, same way, or most of them are go to hotel. So when you're down at the line for the whole day down there, you can't get a load. People are call like crazy. Him customer them a call. Jim need water. Jim no water. Him can't help them because him in the line and only all 2 chip him get for the whole day because the line long. Truck like crazy run at the pipe, run a spring yard and run at the pipe. Him and the man for the pipe now talk about this idea of the tank them. Say him to get some tank out there and him, the boss of the place around there, him have a big truck and it's a 3,000, him say him can come and full couple of the drum them. That means so when him gone, if he even get a load around there daytime and him gone let off, he will have water here so instead of come join the line around there. No, in spite of that plan when them making home my baby father do. You see when time he sell water to people at daytime, you see at night time when everybody gone at them bed. him draw water at night time. He not get water run at the spring because the spring lock off. A different spring, him have to go draw water and come full up the tank them at night time. And then at daytime, he must tell people the water we are order. So you see at night and day this money I work. Eh? So tell me, why the first thing come to your mind to say when you see some black jump down there so? Why you never think to yourself and say, who come up with the idea here? I store water. Take notice of what go on before you start making assumptions them. It's like you feel like you did bingo this morning, like you find something for go knock down this a JLP with. You know, say I've never have 2 words with the MP good. I have never have 2 words good with the MP. The man wash over here. Well, he used to wash over here more frequently before the car should lock down and reopen. And I never even him used to carry the vehicle. I don't know if I'm secretary or some guy would normally come across and carry the vehicle come over here. We're more familiar with that guy. I don't do politics. Me never ever vote. Mr. Ian Hills in need to come clear the air. But customers them, but be able for the customer them, the people them in the community, everybody I wonder if I really will live from St. Elizabeth, come away small and come get so much tank and then down here suffer all long and get it. You need to come clear the air and make people come know say, and enough free tank put on over there so, and night and day hard work put you over there. Night and day hard work put you over there. You know, so there are people talking about stabbing up the tank them. That different spring, him have to go draw water and come full up the tank them at night time. And then at daytime, he go tell people the water we are order. So you see at night and day this money I work. Eh? So tell me, why the first thing come to your mind to say when you see some black jump down there so? Why you never think to yourself and say, who come up with the idea here? I store water. Take notice of what go on before you start making assumptions them. It's like you feel like you did bingo this morning, like you find something for go knock down this a MP with. You know, say I've never have 2 words with the MP good. I have never have 2 words good with the MP. The man wash over here. Well, he used to wash over here more frequently before the car should lock down and reopen. And I never even him used to carry the vehicle. I don't know if I'm secretary or some guy would normally come across and carry the vehicle come over here. We're more familiar with that guy. I don't do politics. Me never ever vote. Mr. Ian Hills in need to come clear the air. My customers them, but be able for the customer them, the people them in the community, everybody I wonder if I really will live from St. Elizabeth, come away small and come get so much tank and then down here suffer all long and get it. You need to come clear the air and make people come know say, and enough free tank put on over there so, and night and day hard work put you over there. Night and day hard work put you over there. You know, so there are people talking about stabbing up the tank them. That
I'm gonna pause it right there, folks. I'm gonna pause it right there, folks. I'm gonna pause it right there. And I hope you get the gist of that voice note. That voice note comes from the lady who her and her baby father, according to her, are owners of the car wash that Ian Hales had highlighted, citing that there were several black tanks on the premises and that there were black tanks either given to them by the MP in Western Westmoreland for them to sell or to give away to them. And he went there with cameras to highlight these things. And here's a lady outlining the hard work and sacrifice that herself and her baby father had to make in order to obtain these tanks. And the PNP would know, because they intend on scoring cheap political points, they put up a camera, take pictures of the people them tank, and come to tell John public that it's a JLP and Moreland Wilson who is mismanaging government's resources, when that is not the case. When will the PNP learn that there is going to be a time when the propaganda that they are selling is not going to be bought? And people are going to find them out. People are actually finding them out now. People are exposing them and what they have done. What they have done in their quest for political points. They have exposed this lady. They have exposed their business. I know where Moreland Wilson's office is, and I'm hoping it's at the car wash that is right across from the office. The lady says she don't vote, she don't participate in politics. No thanks were given to her by the MP. But the opposition has this out there telling people that these were thanks coming from government coffers, sitting in the people. You cannot be that desperate. You cannot be so desperate, PNP. Ian Hales, you cannot be so desperate, my brother. You cannot be that desperate. We are going to jeopardize the lives and livelihood of others just in the name of scoring cheap political points. You cannot be that desperate, Ian Hales, on the PNP. You cannot be that desperate that you're going to jeopardize the life and livelihood of individual in Western Westmoreland. And not just in Western Westmoreland, throughout Jamaica. Because anywhere there is 4 or 5, 3 or 4 black tanks stuck together, it is now going to be deemed as things coming from the government. We have to be more responsible in the politics. And a road scholar like Ian Hales should not allow cheap, petty politics to draw him into these kind of negative arguments. By the way, he has a lot to answer to. He has a lot to explain in his own personal situations. He should tell the people of Jamaica why is it that he had to take out a restraining order, preventing the courts from releasing an audit report from the Contractor General's office into matters relating to him and his other half. He has not clarified that with the Jamaican people yet. So to go there trying to score cheap political points, highlighting the lady's thanks at her house, that was just as low as one can go. I do not think that you can go any lower than that. And the lady put out her video because she need to clear the air. And she's asking for Ian Hales to come and clear the air. It would be responsible of Mr. Ian Hales to come on social media and on traditional media as well to point out to people that what he thought was corrupt practice by the MP, he needs to admit to the Jamaican people and the voters, especially in Western Westmoreland, that he blundered. He needs to do that. And I would advise this lady, the fact that she's not a person who participates in the political process or vote, I think this is a wake-up call for her. I think this is the moment that she now understands that she has a responsibility because of what took place to get active and to participate in the electoral process. If I could advise this lady, I would tell her, if there's ever a time that you need to get up and get out there and ensure that people like Ian Hills don't get to sit in Parliament, the time would be now. I think it's a perfect opportunity for her to show her disgust with Hales and the PNP by coming out and actively campaigning against them. Because if they can do this when they're not in office, imagine what they will do you when they get to office. If they can draw this conclusion about you now while they're in opposition, dog near me supper if they ever get to God's house. Because they already have you branded as a laborite and a recipient of government services and government grants and initiatives free. The lady mentioned in her argument that people were threatening to bore holes in the tanks, which is again another part of it that you have to be scared of, because sometimes you do some things and you're not knowing what the implications are. But look at this. This could easily affect the lady in such a negative way. So, folks, the same energy that Ian Hales used to come out and highlight these black tanks in this lady house, suggesting that there were some form of corrupt practice in collusion with the member of parliament. I think Ian Hales owe it to the people of Jamaica to come out and clarify this argument. Somebody is saying that, remember that they are even saying that they saw a cesspool truck carrying water. Now, these are the things that you do in the name of politics. Because you want to score cheap political points, you will say and do just about any damn thing without even thinking about the consequences. What if you were to create this atmosphere of negative vibe against the cesspool trucking people or the regular water people, and it affects their business simply because you want to score some stupid political points? You have to be careful. And I think people should call on Mr. Hales to withdraw the statement. Some folks are asking me to play the tape again. And yeah, I'll play it again so you guys can appreciate what you're hearing. It's not a story I'm making up. It's right here. So I'm going to play it again for you. Stick and stay. So this is the lady whose premises was highlighted as being one of the areas where black tanks were being kept, or they were given black tanks by the JLP. And the lady is saying, no, I did not receive any tanks from the JLP. It's a hard work of herself and her other half that brought those tanks into being. So somebody's asked me to play it again. I'm going to go ahead and play it. Stand by.
This morning, me get up out of my bed bright and early and go to St. Elizabeth. Actually, we actually live in a Senti and do business down here. So since I'm lately, we actually start reside in a Westmoreland. Try to get that door open. Let me try to get that door open. Yeah, see there? 2 more jump. Maybe have a father send me up for. Alright, so at one point, me think I'm not really owe nobody an explanation. And what we are do with them jump here and why and cause some people are say, we can't wash I do with so much jump. The jumps were put there because my baby father, him draw water and sell to houses full of drums and tank. Now, from the other day, hotel a draw water. And him there on the all for the whole day in the line, him want a truck down here. Ask people, him want a water truck there Westmoreland come from God knows where. Him want a people that come down, water shortage down here, and truck from all boat come down, come draw water. Whoever do business in a home, same way, or most of them are go to hotel. So when you're down at the line for the whole day down there, you can't get a load. People are call like crazy. Him customer them a call. Jim need water, Jim no water. Him can't help them because him in the line and only all 2 trip him get for the whole day because the line long. Truck like crazy run at the pipe, run a spring yard and run at the pipe. Him and the man for the pipe now talk about this idea of the tank them. Say him forget some tank out there and him, the boss of the place around there, him have a big truck and it's a 3,000 him say him can come and full couple of the drum them. That means so when him gone, if he even get a load around there daytime and him gone let off, he will have water here so instead of come join the line around there. No, in spite of that plan when them making home my baby father do. You see when time he sell water to people at daytime, you see at night time when everybody gone at them bed, him draw water at night time. He not get water under that the spring because the spring lock off. A different spring, him have to go draw water and come full up the tank them at night time. And then at daytime, he go sell people the water we are order. So you see at night and day this money I work. Eh? So tell me, why the first thing come to your mind to say, when you see some black jump down there, so why you never think to yourself and say, who come up with the idea here? I store water. Take notice of what go on before you start making assumptions them. It's like you feel like you did bingo this morning, like you find something for go knock down this MP with. You know, say I've never have 2 words with the MP good. I have never have 2 words good with the MP. The man wash over here. Well, he used to wash over here more frequently before the car should lock down and reopen. And I never even him used to carry the vehicle. I don't know if I'm secretary or some guy would normally come across and carry the vehicle come over here. We're more familiar with that guy. I don't do politics. Me never ever vote. Mr. Ian Hills, you need to come clear the air. My customers them, my baby father customer them, the people them in the community, everybody I wonder if I really will live from St. Elizabeth, come away small and come get so much tank and then down here suffer all long and get it. You need to come clear the air and make people come know say and enough free tank put on over there stuff and night and day hard work put you over there. Night and day hard work put you over there. You know, so there are people talking about stabbing up the tank them. That different spring, him have to go draw water and come full up the tank them at night time. And then at daytime, he go sell people the water we are order. So you see at night and day this money I work. Eh? So tell me, why the first thing come to your mind to say, when you see some black jump down there, so why you never think to yourself and say, who come up with the idea here? I store water. Take notice of what go on before you start making assumptions them. It's like you feel like you did bingo this morning, like you find something for go knock down this MP with. You know, say I've never have 2 words with the MP good. I have never have 2 words good with the MP. The man wash over here. Well, he used to wash over here more frequently before the car wash had locked down and reopen. And I never even him used to carry the vehicle. I don't know if I'm secretary or some guy would normally come across and carry the vehicle come over here. We're more familiar with that guy. I don't do politics. Me never ever vote. Mr. Ian Hills in need to come clear the air. My customers them, my be able for the customer them, the people them in the community, everybody I wonder if I really will live from St. Elizabeth, come away small and come get so much tank and then down here suffer all along and get it. You need to come clear the air and make people come know say and enough free tank put on over there so and night and day hard work put you over there. Night and day hard work put you over there. You know, so there are people talking about stabbing up the tank them. That
Wow. There you have it. There you have it again for a second time. There you have it. Yeah, there you have it. And I know, I guess everybody would now get the gist of the story. You know, it's a sad situation though, folks. It's really sad when you stoop that low to gain political points and political mileage. It's very sad. It's very sad. That's really the least I can say about that one. It's a very, very sad state. If you have to go that low. If you have to go that low in order to score some political points, then it's bad. Yeah, very sad. So that's what's going on with the water situation there. We still have another video here to play of Matthew dealing with Peter Bunting in the Senate. I think there's a second one here.
And I saw a video that...
That's not the one. That's not the one. We're gonna come back to that. But yeah, it's a very sad case. Yeah, let me just cut that for a quick second there. Yeah, but that's a really, it's a very serious situation, guys. Tells you how desperate these guys are. Typical PNP, very desperate, and they will do just about anything. And that's why I'm saying to this lady that it's important for her to get involved now, because now it's clear that if these guys come to office, you're going to be under pressure, because it is in their minds that whatever you've achieved, your baby father worked so hard to do in the community, they're attributing your success to assistance given to you by the member of parliament, which is just not so. Greetings again to my friends over on TikTok, my TikTokers. How you all doing? I trust that you all are doing well. A good 150 of you guys over here, and there's another 150 over on the other platforms. So I greet you all well, and I trust that you all are doing great this evening. We're having a very good discussion. I'm yapping away. If there's anybody who wants to comment, who wants to join the conversation, there's a link in the chat. Please feel free to jump in and to give us your view. Chuck Finley, I see you in the building. You're there? Who else you got? Sir Divi. Chuck Finley, you're there? I'm here. Greetings. Sir Divi Martin. Yeah, man. We're just doing a check. Sir Martin. Sir Gregory.
Yes, Chuck, over there, man.
Blessings. Donovan, I see you in the building as well. Ron, you're in the building. Tariq is in the building.
Yeah, man, Chopper. You hear me now?
Give thanks. Yeah, man. And
I just want to say something. This whole water tank idea. I used to work for a man named Mr. Knight, the water to go trucking company. It's on Central Road in Halfway Tree.
yeah.
And Mr. Knight, sometimes when daylight and we get to work, he would fill the tanks. He have two 45-foot tank in the yard that would fill, and then now we start to draw from the well, which is on Balmoral Avenue or the one up by Mona. Yes. And those tanks were, as the lady was saying on your platform in the voice note, that once the well lock, we start drawing from the tanks in the yard to continue serving.
So you keep serving, yes, yes.
Yes. See? So when she hear her voice note, saying that her husband, somebody at the well, come up with an idea for her to buy the tanks, them and have them stored in the yard. That is not new.
Right.
And remember, you know, people have to live and people need water.
Oh, yeah.
So if the man has a business and he's offering a service, he's going to do what he has to do
to stay afloat.
Everybody wants to get rich, you know. Nothing is wrong with being rich, but it's apparent that for some persons in Jamaica, if you are moved too quick or you are moved too slick in making money, it is found to be a problem, and it is now gone to the political platform. Seeing? Whereas the opposition is now using persons' livelihood as an escape route.
You know what the lady said? You know what the lady said about people threatening to stab up her tanks?
I heard that.
So he would have exposed her to physical harm as well. Yeah, man.
No, I see where he's in a boat. And the way we call the river, the Cabaretta River. And he's saying that, boy, see, I am here with the people and this and that. No, 18 and a half years ago, where you were when the people needed you. No, you're going to come on social media, you're going to say, boy, Matthew Samuda, you're flying over in helicopters and you need to you need to use government vehicle or government funding and drive around. Come on, the man I fly over and I look where the springs are in Westmoreland. And the easiest way. They never stop to think of those things.
No, because it's all about politics for them. It's not about people. It's about politics.
I mean, all right then. When I notice, have the people in Ball, so Andrew send somebody go look. If it's in Portmore and the Portmore people ball for water, Matthew Samuda come look. It's not Robert Miller, you know. Because even though Robert Miller is the MP, Matthew is the man who is responsible for water. So it is his duty to run up and down. Them need to cut out this nonsense, man. No, it's like my friend Mark Golden tell the people them say wait till after election, then we can start up at the foolishness. See there what is happening? Persons are left wondering at night if when them lock up them business, if the business still are go there when them come back a morning.
So it's a very concerning situation we're in. Chuck, you were saying something, Chuck? It's your turn to burn.
Well, I'm to tell you, beg you on this, Chops. And let's not forget.
Yes.
That there's two messages in this voice note. Right? There's two messages.
Yes.
The lady, and I'm happy that she decided that, as she said, she won't no explanation to no one, but be happy that she tell her story. Because this is a perfect example of what the government anticipate of us when they create the economic environment in a way in which he make a lot of things accessible. You know, must now be creative to tap into that and make yourself independent and more successful. A lot of people sit down and would just did it and a mumble and a cuss and a blame official. Right? What the guy did? The guy got innovative. He hear an idea. He not kissing teeth and said, we can't bother with that. He invested because he knew that when he invested them tank there, him will be able to have continuous water to satisfy customer. And the people in the end will know the ease of the water issue. But you have a representative now who comes, and instead of seeing it, talk to the people and try to encourage them, try to get in a for them, for your head, to support him in a whatever way. Don't come now publicly trying to condemn the effort of this person. People must see this and see the action and see that these people have not your interest of heart. Because if they have the people in interest of heart, him wouldn't. I mean, this is a politician. We're supposed to be smart. So if you see something that you may think, do your due diligence and get your facts before you start make video and put it publicly. How does this make you look? Incompetent. So how come people are going to vote for you? Mr. Chaps, continue the good work. We're not stopping up.
Respect, man.
This rest.
Respect, my brethren. Respect.
All right, Chaps.
Yeah, man.
All right, let me tell you something now.
Hold on a second, Terry. Hold on a second. Go ahead.
Me hear them saying the other day, say, you have man, we are make all them 100,000 a day. Please, making 100,000 a day is nothing compared to your gas oil, your engine oil. See? Because remember, we are talking about the countryside. You have a lot of hilly terrain. Once your truck have a load and it starts to climb uphill, I should know gas oil start burn, engine oil start burn. See? The trucks of today is not like modern cars where it have hybrid or it is electric. Most of the truck them a problem truck. Night and day the man them a work on it to keep it on the road so that way the supply chain can't broke. See? And then now the man have say, boy, them need to come with right now, many truckers, many bosses who own trucks in our freight. I say, boy, the man them out of the cars. The government now for step in on them and impose measures on this and that. And
Precisely.
Them, I don't say thank no for sterile through NWC because I have been there where the boss have a new truck, him have to send the tank that NWC go get its steam, and then them have to pressure test it to make sure no say it nah leak or nothing nah leak. All these little things.
Divi, what say you, Divi? Sir Martin, talk to me. Chuck Finley, what say you on the matter? You heard the tips. All right, let me see. Right, Weena and Renz and couple other of my moderators in here.
Yeah, Chuck. Night, everybody.
Night, Renz. What's going on with you?
No, hi, night. And we said this in the chat. And people are Westmoreland. I don't want to take this personally, but I want to look into it. You see, the candidates that they're giving you guys is proof the level of respect that the party have for you guys.
True.
Ian Hills have been very mischievous for the past couple of days. So Taylor, right now, him bring up the whole rapid response thing. I didn't even remember about that failed attempt.
Yeah.
I never remember about it.
A corrupt initiative.
Him trying to highlight something. It failed badly because him highlighting parties, poor planning, and how them tend to always use government money to feed them friends. May I go back to the original statement what me say. Westmoreland people, PNP don't love enough. Them know me not take this, more open to take this bad, but they know say I not have much sense. If I have a dog gonna give them, wanna vote for them. Let's be frank. Wanna constantly vote for PNP. And not get nothing for it. Or nothing for sure.
But they were that entire belt, the entire parish was controlled by PNP for decades.
Decades. And this is especially in a time when their party is in power. You know, even have the Prime Minister as
Yeah.
a member of Parliament, you have the Tourism Minister as a member of Parliament, and you can't say what these high-ranking ministers have done for the parish. Now, this is what the party has done. So what they're giving no candidates that are proven failures. Ian Hills can't run back at Hanover because he done nothing in Hanover. And people them don't want it.
And he's going to do nothing in Westmoreland either if he has ever get a chance to go down there. He will do nothing because that's his track record.
Yeah, they definitely cannot go back to St. Anne. Christian Lee turned an Orange parish, an Orange constituency fully green. Full-fledged green. And that is because of poor management by Dayton and she coming in and doing the work. Now look at it. For sure that this is a party we always say they love on our Westmoreland and show them so they love them by voting for them over and over and over and over. Look at the candidates that they are giving to you. And these are candidates that they are giving to their most loyal voters. So on a think of it. See, Ian Hills, I realize that on MP candidate is being used more often and it's not for good. It's proving how poor he is in relation to communicating and how lie and mischievous and disingenuous he is. Now, if he is a caretaker and he's behaving like this, he can't tell truth.
Can you imagine?
Imagine if, God forbid, he should become your member of parliament. Appear like I'm telling you, because I know so you not have much sense. You know what I think? You see my track record. You see say I'm not a good member of parliament. As a caretaker, you see say I was not a good caretaker. Nor was I not a good opposition speaker. There is a shadow cabinet minister. He was not a good shadow cabinet minister. I'm still vote for him. How can you gain a respect of this individual if it is after they're showing you so much you turn around and vote for them? And this is why I say this. Westmoreland people, wake up and stop making them take on for idiot. That's why him can't come up and watch me see the video, you know. It's like he set up in one corner, a sneaker video and a talk.
When you look at it, you know, rental girl. Them people in the West, they're not smart. Look at Nathan Campbell now. You know, come from there, though. As the type of person you want to accept me on there. No. They expect them to see you, they're going to fuck. Can't go nowhere.
Listen to Westmoreland. See a Westmoreland here. Let me talk about Westmoreland. Give me peace out there. Me a Westmoreland born and bred. Y'all hear me?
Yeah, speak up in the mic some more. We can't hear you very well.
Listen. You hear me very well, listen?
Not hearing you very well. Go closer to your mic.
I'm hearing you. Hold on, you hear me better now?
Yes, a little bit better, yeah.
Right, so, like I think it was Ren's girl said something just now that it made me laugh. When Portia was running against Andrew to become Prime Minister, Independence Park, Savlamar, Westmoreland, she made the speech that the key for Westmoreland is in her drawer up in Kingston. And if it's a dog, then put down here, we name Affy win.
Oh.
That's on record. That is on record. That's so disrespectful. It's crazy that the people them don't understand it. Right? The same thing. Roger Clark came from wherever he came from, failed elsewhere. They put him down there, him win. They're doing the same thing again. It bothers me that they
share the program, guys. Share the program and tap the screen so we can get some more people over here. Go ahead, brother.
That they can't use new, young, fresh minds to come and work for the people of Westmoreland. They have gone for failed politicians, people who were member of parliament elsewhere. And the people there vote them out because they were doing no work. What can they offer to the people of Westmoreland? What?
You're talking about two losers in Dayton Campbell and
yes, sir.
And Ian Hills.
And I want to tell you one more thing. He went, hold on. Hold on, I'll do some campaign in Westmoreland. Don't give me some time. I'll do some work down that side. Now, I want to talk about his move to go on the Cabarita River on that boat.
Yes.
The Cabarita River was tested before. It is contaminated. It's not fit for human consumption.
Mm-hmm.
So if he's suggesting that we create a water treatment plant for that river specifically to treat water to send into Negril, it's really a dumb idea because we're already using Roaring River. Better quality of water and more water flows from Roaring River Springs than the Cabarita River. This man is just looking for a loophole or looking for a footing in the political arena, but he doesn't know what he's talking about. He doesn't know anything, and he won't even do proper research to come and effectively represent the people. It is an insult on the intelligence.
No, it's not from the era, so he doesn't know.
That is it. That is it.
Well, I'm from the era. I know both rivers very well. Swimming at them in a Scotia brief as a boy. In a boat river, so he can't tell me about them. Me fi tell him about them. Roaring River have multiple springs in the area and it flows more water than the Cabarita flows. Not only that, the Cabarita is contaminated. He did mention in his video that Froome Sugar Factory uses the river. And them dump waste in it too. Don't just say, oh, they use water from the river. Them dump waste in it too. And you need to bring that to the attention of the people.
Mm-hmm.
You see,
Well, you're doing a very good job at it right now, Carla.
That is in his argument. You know the very car wash. I know the place.
Is the car wash right across from the office?
It's not across the street. It's on the same side of the street. Just like say if you're heading to Negril, you would come to the office, then the car wash.
Yeah, but it is across the street. There's a road between the office and the car wash. The main road, both the car wash and the office is on the same right-hand side.
Same side of the road.
Right.
Yeah.
But between the car wash itself now, when you make a right turn, there's a road that split the car wash from the office. I know the area very well.
It goes to I tell you where that road they lead to. I don't understand him again. Namprel Road.
Yes.
We know the area very well.
I know the car wash and the bar. I know that area.
It's the road you mentioned. Let me tell you one better. The road you're mentioning, it leads to Jam West.
Yeah, man.
Jam West, where they're doing the motor racing
Yeah.
and Adventure Park now. That's the road that's in between. The road that will take you to that place in between them. So you have an idea what you have an idea, Chopper. You know the area.
I know the area, man. I know the area.
But
I've been down there.
This man is lying, and all he's just seeking cheap political points and just trying to rile up the PMP them down that side. But they should look into his argument and know that it is an insult to them. Because when these other individuals who are voters who go by that road on a daily basis, they know that this story is a lie. This story is a lie. And it is insulting by the PMP to not being able to provide quality candidates to the people. Because
Travis.
Quality candidates.
Travis,
Hey.
you know that the PMP does not believe in truth. And you know what this already say. All Ian here needs to do is to say it one time, and him bag of social media lucky them are going to take it and run up and down with it.
Yep.
So that is what they play upon. They play on the ignorance of the people. The people are not willing to spend one single minute to check if something when they hear goes on. Then just know so they hear it on their phone.
And they're going to run with it.
Right?
Go ahead, dear Renz. I'm coming right back. Go ahead. No, go ahead. Go ahead.
So I am saying though, why is it this is a parish or not say a phone parish? You not have it for 30 and 40 years. Why is it you cannot campaign on the achievements of your party in the polls? Why?
No policy to develop the parish because they've done it before. They can't tell the people about development because they have never ever done it before. Chopper, you started off because I've been on here since you started. You started off with a very important point. You talk about the deep pockets and money and the role it plays. They've always won Westmoreland because of their deep pockets. It's always about the money. And the money by rum.
2 weeks before election now, over for 4 years.
Nothing else they don't have to offer.
Watch out, vehicle on shoulder ahead.
Nothing else they don't have to offer the people. And they say the money thing will play a critical role in Westmoreland deciding because the people want to be freed from the shackles of these people, you know. But they keep getting enticed by their money. And these people love free money.
And Travis, so they're smart, you know. Let's be frank. Parish like St. Thomas. St. Thomas was a strong PNP parish, you know. And since St. Thomas made the sacrifice and started sticking with JLP, look what is going on to St. Thomas. Look at St. Thomas as a perfect example.
I'm not seeing who's talking. I read girl talk.
Yeah, me and
Reds and everybody put live. I want to draw your attention to a Facebook post in 2020 when the election concluded. The very next morning, there was a video coming out. Somebody about freedom. Freedom. I was the one who did that video. It went viral. Because guess what? That is the first time I've experienced, I'm in my 30s, the first time I experienced that I can remember JLP rulership, a JLP member of parliament in a Westmoreland we born and grew up. That video went viral and be about freedom, Westmoreland people, freedom.
That's true. I just
Westmoreland want to be free from
our parish dedicated to PNP. And this is what I am saying, people. I said this to Westmoreland, I said this to Hanover, I said this to Manchester. Look at the parishes that have been devoted continuously to PNP and look at the changes of the parish since they have made the choice to switch to JLP. We can't chat to St. Thomas, you know. St. James are one of them who used to be loyal to PNP. Look at St. James. When you look on the parishes, them look at Satan. Look at the constituency that Dayton Campbell had. Look at the constituency that Peter Bolton have. So Miss Tamika fix Askenish Road. We never know that they really think that they just want a farm road. Look at these areas that are getting attention. Where only that would be painted for how many years and nothing was being done. And this is a party who have these constituency for 3.5 years, not 4 years. 3.5 years. They're doing more in 3.5 years than the party that's an loyal to for 30, 40 years. Let that make sense.
There's a reason why a lot of these people are loyal and why they always win, you know. Let me tell you some PMP secret.
Watch out, vehicle on shoulder ahead.
They give you a lot of land where they create garrison communities. They create a whole heap of garrison communities down there. You see, any which part the big garrison areas then next PMP stronghold. PMP you see which part they plant, right? Them people to them bread. See? Trust me, I don't want to say some things because I don't want to say some things over by media, but trust me. They created garrison communities. Let me say it that way, because it's a cute way to say it that. That's why they're able to win the sense of
Travis, that's their playbook.
Not really affect the change that is necessary unless we can garrison communities where they have created.
But they have done that in Kingston. 14 garrisons in Kingston. That's what they used to divide and rule and win and crime. They use crime, corruption, and garrison. Keep the people poor.
The care all them try to fix up. I remember when Andrew Olney said they wanted to close the river tar dump and relocate the people.
Right.
First who came out to speak against it was their MP. No. If you love the people, as you say you love the people, why you not update them? Just because if you move from the area, you lose votes.
But Michael Malley, you know. Michael Malley did control Riverton City before. And Michael Manley paid them off, allow whatever to pay the people. I know that is a fact. Pay the people for them houses and tell them to relocate. And they never relocate. I'm telling you, they never relocate. They want to close to the dump. They paid for that land, you know. They go and pay them off feet, you know. And they wouldn't let. So they're feeding tree. So because of the vote, them now move them. And that is why Kingston, I tell you, have so much garrison and squatting. They don't want to do nothing about the squatters. They don't want to do nothing about the poverty. They want the people to be poor so that they can become dependent on them. When election time comes, they can use a slogan, a your time now, a black man time now.
Them time now for rubber look.
Yes. Yeah. So
that is it, my brother. That is it.
Nathaniel wanted to say something. Hold on there, Nathaniel.
Yeah.
How are you come say me say shame 50 dead? Me and when me talk watch.
Yeah.
No, me say how are you come from because say me say shame dead. I did not call him.
Shame be a touch man.
Yeah.
I see him put up one ex-policeman name over there and the man from there. I know them have shoot him, kill him.
Him alright. Where you add in that second, we not give them no traction. Me not look upon him. Where you say no, not
I see them with people when put up on him pit, you know, get away from them. Oh man. And then they find but we just want the people in our Westmoreland to have common sense and look and take notice what take place. Because them people don't love them, they don't respect them. Intention poor.
Sandra Gold, which part of Elsha Road you asked for the squatting coming today? Which part of Elsha Road? I believe near the so. You talk up in a Elsha itself, you talk. Oh, no, which part you talk? Someone there for run, man. The police kill one of them around there that tried to extortion around there, and their father pick up for him. You understand? Them can't get no squatters community in that side. If I Elsha side they talk, no. They can't hurt this. They try to force this, them kill him. So I want them for run there. We are talking about Fitz now. Fitz. Not Fitz. Why Fitz? You see Fitz someone poor become a parish. Because
one life, man, that's a good idea that.
If it's a poor parish, you know I'm going to lose. And the last time he complained and told and said, boy, are the scheme people, the new scheme don't want to be like the gated community and so forth. And them have vote against him because him can't go in the campaign. You understand? Him can't go into them place for campaign. And them not to campaign on the TV and so. You understand? So, since more houses built over there, I'm sorry for him, and you have younger people who vote him out this time. Even though it just may bear win by maybe like 200 or 300. The last time he complained and said never knows so much people have vote against him. So that's no parish.
That's a Fitz Jackson.
Yeah, man, I put one belief, man.
Him can't this a chip, you know.
He don't do nothing for the area. Nothing he does.
Andrew Shiffy bounty them in Canada.
Yes.
majority
Every time you bounty them Shiffy done.
And I shift the boundary, I shift really, the boundary I stay to what it's supposed to be. So it's not really shift. You understand?
Yeah, man, him man, if you fix man, I'll put you right way.
Him want the boundary to stay a particular way. So other areas like we're supposed to move on to Spanish Town side, right? To stay. So him can basically win and so forth. That's why I'm
I don't do not pay people them. I do not pay.
Nothing.
Him now and Thomas at one set of corruption them, you know, man.
Come you know when the people got the vote Yali and Thomas, you know. They have black road for blocking road for now fix and you vote in that man there. Then pick it to themselves, brother.
I'm alright, man, but I don't see election. I don't see election.
Man from public TV, I block my road for fix. And me voting in. You mad man, that will never happen. That man then too quite wicked, brother. Who come from Hanover, one thing, Hanover. Oh, Alexander, go on, big up yourself, yeah.
Yeah.
Tough boy, I can't wrap up, I can't go there, yeah.
No, man, the people there like rice grain, man. All of 100 and plus, and a whole lot of people over here on YouTube. By the way, guys, all you folks over on TikTok, please head over to the YouTube channel and subscribe. Please and thank you.
YouTube channel.
Yeah, man, Chops Media. It's live right now. So if you go onto YouTube, you can just go onto the YouTube channel and subscribe to the. Yeah, it's called Chops Media. Same thing as the TikTok page. Same name, Chops Media. Sounds good.
The Negril water crisis, but now plug in the phone.
Yeah.
Because mere people are talking and run with some argument. And from me know myself grow and have sense. I always say when I reach the time I Lil and Chuck a run go out Negril. I would me know myself a PMP. I run Westmoreland. So who has this new MP coming to power? Not even they no long time. Them a pressure new MP.
Politics in him, brother. Politics in him.
Niggas having a water crisis a long time. Not just now.
Yeah. Well, you know, people are benefit. Listening to this. Listen to this, gentlemen. Listen to this.
Me never get nothing brand on jacket and tie until today. A shirt and a pants and a shoes. Yo, you're greatest. You're not even good. Your past good. Because better left and best left. And what you do today in Negril, where everybody in Negril crying out, it is a presence for you. He left. He rest 3 people. Me done with it. Nigga will cry out to the MP. And in this time, the MP make sure the possibility for others who don't have water can get a little storage for even them vegetation. You, Mr. MP. I know some talk to people, I talk against the people. can't see one MP to rat it. Yeah, man. This is a water crisis.
Those are persons down in Westmoreland receiving black tanks from the MP down in Western Westmoreland there, Moreland Wilson. And we have to give credit, the government responded to a crisis, and he made representation on behalf of the people, and the people are now receiving their black tanks. That is something for us to be proud of. For all of you guys over on the YouTube channel, please go ahead and subscribe, like it, share it, tell a friend. All 172 plus 28. Yeah, almost 200 of you guys over there. Please go ahead and subscribe to the channel. Press that notification bell. That simply means whenever we go live, you'll be the first to be notified. And also, when you hop over to TikTok also, we are on TikTok as well. Chops Media on TikTok. So please ensure that you follow the page. And yeah. But good work there, Moreland Wilson. That is some good work. Let me see if I could. I don't even know if I can get him on here. Let's see. It's probably late now. These guys don't like to do the late night shift, But we can try. You never know. We might just get lucky. Let's see if we can invite him. Well, you know what? Let me not do that. That's not fair. It's not fair. Yeah. let me not do that. But yeah, guys. Yeah, it's a good look. Debunking the lies and the misinformation in a very timely fashion, in a very timely manner. The minute it drops, we're on it and we are going to debunk it. But Lyrics Man, big up yourself. Everton Jarrett, Grace Thomas, big up yourself. Who else we got? Michelle Wildman, big up yourself. Everton, Annette Williams, Sheldon Dixon, Patsy Powell, Levar Fortner, big up yourself. Back in the days when we come out and use, yeah. So yeah, there you have it, man. Who else we got over here? Nathan, and who is that? Ooh. Yeah, but it was a pleasure, guys. It's 8 minutes after 10 o'clock. We promised I would have been here up until 10. It's 8 minutes after 10 now. I want to say to you, thank you all for joining us. Make sure that you all go over to the TikTok page, Chops Media. Follow us on TikTok. Make sure the TikTokers, you go over to the YouTube channel. We are on YouTube at Chops Media. And we're also on X, Twitter. So thank you all for joining us this evening. We look forward to seeing you again. Give thanks. Enough respect, my brethren. Manners, always. Yeah, so my folks over this side of town, blessed love. Everton, big up yourself. All 160 of you. Enough respect to you all. My friends on X. On the X platform, big up yourself. Good to have you on. Folks on my Facebook channel, Chopping Block, big up yourself. And Chops Media on YouTube. Big up yourself. Enough love, enough respect. Please go over to the YouTube channel and subscribe. Simply means whenever we go live, you will be the first to know. Yes, there's a lot of JLP app groups. Yes. Big up to the folks over at in over at big up to the folks over at Jamaica Stronger. Jamaica Stronger is one of our WhatsApp groups. Big up yourself or WhatsAppers. Enough respect. Jamaica Stronger. Big up to the folks over in Salt Spring. Big up to the folks over in Cornwall Courts. Big up to the folks over in Flower Hill. Big up to the Rose Heights Massive and to everybody in St. James Central. St. James West Central, East Central, and St. James Southern. Big up y'all self. Big up the folks over in Hanover. Eastern Hanover, Western Hanover. Big up the folks down in Westmoreland, Central Westmoreland, Eastern Westmoreland, and Westmoreland Western. Folks over in St. Elizabeth, big up yourself. Northeast St. Elizabeth, Northwest, and the Southwest St. Elizabeth. Big up y'all self. Enough respect to you all. Manchester, Manchester Central, big up yourself. South Manchester, Southeast Manchester, and Northwest Manchester, big up y'all self. Clarendon Central, big up yourself. Central Clarendon, not Central Clarendon, Northern Clarendon, Northwest Clarendon, Southwest Clarendon. Big up yourself. Enough respect. St. Catherine, Northeast St. Catherine, Northwest St. Catherine, Central St. Catherine, and West Central. Don't remember that one. All my folks over in Portmore, enough respect to y'all. Good to have you. My friends over in Kingston and St. Andrew, big up yourself. Central Kingston, big up yourself in Western St. Andrew, big up yourself in Western Kingston, big up yourself in Southwest St. Andrew, Northwest St. Andrew, big up yourself. Enough love, enough respect. St. Thomas, big up yourself. Big up yourself for all the folks in Portland, Mr. and Mrs. Portland, Anne-Marie and Daryl Vaz. Big up yourself. Big up yourself to James Roberts. Big up yourself to Michelle Charles and all the folks. St. Mary, you won't be left out. Big up yourself. Western St. Mary, Bobby, Robert, Montague, Boss. Big up yourself. Big up yourself to all the constituencies in St. Mary, Western St. Mary. Northwest and Northeast and Northeast St. Mary, Western St. Mary. Yeah, all those folks. People in Aracabessa, people in Gale, people in all those folks. Toa Isles, Mango Valley, people in Stewart Town, my good friend Brian Miles, condolences for the loss of your mom. Enough respect to you, my brother. And we will see you soon. Brian Miles, a contributor on this platform. He's always here with us. Enough respect. We said what? Northwest St. James, big up, yeah. North Central, no PNP test. Big up yourself. Okay. Southeast St. Mary, Michelle, big up yourself. Southeast St. Mary, Southeast St. Mary, Dr. Dunn, yes. Richard Vernon, blessings, yeah. New mayor in town, the new sheriff is in town, Richard Vernon, and we also have the great man himself, King Arthur Lynch, from the Montego Bay Southeast Division. The man who control the baddest SOBs in town, Rose Heights. Yeah, man, Rose Heights. Places like Green Tank. Places like Farm Hill, Farm Heights. Yeah, big up yourself. Yeah, man. Big up to St. Anne Southwestern. What? Southwestern? Oh yeah, Southwestern. Yeah, but Northeast St. Anne is my place. Ocherius. Yeah, man. Ocherius, Boxfield, Great Pan, Exchange, Myland, Antiboat Street. Yes, man. Those are my places. White River. Yeah. Northeast Centon. Big up yourself. Reading Division. Where's Reading Division? Branchal. Yeah, man. Yes, man. Anthony Van Reel. Branchal. Village Top. Yeah, you got it right. Council Arthur Lynch, the big man in town. Yes, man. Absolutely. Who else you got? We got the man, the new sheriff in town again. The man they call. The man who control the great Flower Hill. Him control Maggie. Him control Salt Spring. Him control Cornwall Courts. Him control but yeah, Gregory Harris, big up yourself, Councillor. Gregory Harris, proud of you, my boy. Give thanks. He was last year, he was the council caretaker for the Salt Spring Division, and during this election, he came home nicely as the councillor to represent the people of the Salt Spring Division. And that division includes areas such as Cornwall Courts, Salt Spring, Top Melbourne, Bottom Melbourne, you name it, all the way up to the top, all the way up to Flower Hill. So the new sheriff in town in that area is Mr. Gregory Harris. And we've been getting some good reports. It has been branded about that Gregory is doing absolutely well and is making representation on behalf of the people. So well done, Mr. Gregory Harris. Well done to the 3 councillors from Hero Clark's constituency of St. James Central. One of the constituencies that did not fall prey to the PNP's onslaught during the last election. This constituency, along with J.C. Hutchinson in Northwest St. Elizabeth, are the only 2 constituencies that came out of the last local government election with more votes than they did in 2016 at the last local government election. And those 2 are the only 2 constituencies who the PNP have not gained any grounds on. It says a lot to their organizational skill and the way they execute on the day. So big up again to those 2 constituencies, Northwest St. Elizabeth and St. James Central. Those 2 constituencies are chaired by senior MP, elder statesman himself, J.C. Hutchinson, and MP and Deputy Speaker of the House of Parliament, MP Hero Clark. So big up yourself, the General himself, big up, enough respect. Who else we need to big up? We need to big up Floyd Green. Floyd Green, yeah, good youth. Lots of work to do. He lost the Brampton division. That's a very coveted division, but you know what to do in order to retain. Big up to my friend Robert Nesta Morgan, MP, North Central Clarendon, Minister of Information, and the Jamaica Labour Party's Director of Communications. Enough respect to you, my brethren. You have done a lot. You've taken on more than a lot of persons would be willing to take on. And you are slaying it, if you ask me. So big up yourself to Robert Nesta Morgan, brethren. You know, we say one fight, and that is the fight for the JLP. So big up yourself again. Who have I not big up? Big up yourself to the First Lady. The First Lady. Michelle. I said Michelle. Big up yourself to Mrs. Juliet Holness, East Rural St. Andrew. And congratulations. I gather that one division is in court right now, and you guys are seeking a rerun on that one. I trust that it will happen. I remember in '97 when Andrew Holness came to prominence, he came via the court as well because he had to sought legal action against the PNP. Yes, I did. Yes, Anthony, of course. Yeah. So big up again to Mrs. Holness. You are a great leader, and I believe in you. I think that you taking this to the court, you're not wasting the court time. You are doing the right thing. And I'm very optimistic that there'll be a rerun. And I can't wait to head over and to come help you guys to take it home. You might not need any help because I think you got this one in the bag. But big up yourself again, Mrs. Holness. Enough respect to you. I want to say big up to my friend, Big up to my friend, Karen Morrison. Karen Morrison, big up yourself. You are one of those MPs who came out of this local government election looking very good. You seem very dedicated and you understand the task at hand, and you went in and you executed like a real G. So again, to my friend Kerencia Morrison, big up yourself, enough love, whole heap of respect. Anne-Marie Vaz, they did a poll, Anne-Marie, some time ago, and they talk about Portland, East Portland in particular, being underwater. And you didn't take it for granted. You went in and you did some work, and you pull it back together. Both yourself and Sir Darrell. Big respect, enough respect. Great work. Appreciate it. Yeah. So we can't left without a big up to Robert Montague. Reasoning with Bobby will be on. I don't see the schedule yet, but that's another show that will be on. And we want to do some collab with them. We want to do some collab with that show as well and see how best we can, you know what I mean? Get it together. So big up yourself to Robert Montague. St. Anne. Yeah, we'll just pick out some MP now. Big up yourself. Big up yourself, Xavier Main. Enough respect to you. You are the real G. You understand the ground. Big up yourself also to the man from Northeast St. Anne, the constituency of the former constituency of Shahini Elizabeth Robinson. Big up yourself. Big up yourself. Matthew Samuda. I usually love to call him Uncle Sam. My brethren like that. So big up yourself to Matthew Samuda, the MP in waiting for Northeast St. Anne. And if you come down to Trelawney, you know, it's two of my favorite people, them down at Trelawney. In southern Trelawney, a good friend, Mama D. Big up yourself, Mama D. Anyway, there, enough respect, enough love. And if you come down to Trelawney Northern, you have the Firebrand, My Lady, yes, Tova Hamilton, big up yourself. And St. James, we're going to touch the tourism boss himself, Ed Bartlett. We left the tourism boss, we're going to touch Dr. Horace Chang, the real G. And then we're going to touch Uriah Clark. And then we'll move on to Marlene Malahoo Fort. And right up in the hills, the man them call Woma Davis. So big up yourself, St. James team, locked and loaded. Hanover, Dave Brown, big up yourself. And for Tamika Davis, big up yourself as well. Enough love. Oh, we didn't do Westmoreland, yeah, big up yourself. George Wright, the original, the G. What about wait for me put you back in the party? Whatever wait pan for just sign off on the man application and make the man come back into the thing quick and fast. Anyway, big up yourself, George Wright. One George Wright to say. More than Wilson, big up yourself. And Daniel Lawrence, big up yourself. Enough respect. Until then, folks, I am going to be OUT, but let me just hear what the PM has to say here. And then
there is no doubt that the impact of the drought is extensive and that the impact on the NWC is not only extensive but deep. We will make an emergency allocation of 150 million Jamaican dollars. Most of this will go towards the trucking of water. We will keep a small reserve where we see we need to have emergency procurement of water tanks. The government already has in place a water tank program, so we're not going to replicate. But the water tank program must, because it's such a large program, it must go through all the processes, and we are now at the final stage of procurement. We assess that there are 50 constituencies that are impacted. As I had shown you the map, the impact is island-wide. But if you look at the corporate area, including in Portmore, there are areas that are not affected by drought. For example, the storage capacity at Hermitage and Mona are up at 70%. So we want to make sure that the resources that we have are targeted to the areas that are really in need. So there are 13 constituencies which will not benefit from this distribution of resources, but 50 constituencies will. For those 50 constituencies, they will get 1.5 million for trucking. And I can say that the constituencies are all that will get this. Most, if not all of them, are rural. So it's really the rural constituencies that will get it. There might be a few in the St. Andrew area, but then those are considered as rural.
there you have it. Yeah, Everton, I will definitely try to be on more often, my brother. Sometimes it can be a little challenging, but we're gonna try to stick to it. Cleon Spence, big up yourself. Bragg Robinson, big up yourself. Thank you for joining us earlier. And you guys, please ensure that you are all subscribing to the YouTube channel. We're trying to grow this one. Orlando Peters, big up yourself. We're trying to grow this thing out to make sure that we are effective. So all 170 of you, just go ahead and share it one more time. And that, I'm certain, is going to bring us over the top. Let's share the YouTube channel. On YouTube, we have, just go ahead and share it, folks. If you're on Facebook, hop over to the YouTube. If you're on X, hop over to the YouTube channel and go ahead and subscribe. That simply means when we post a video or when we go live, you'll be the first to get notified. Thank you all for joining us. It was a pleasure coming to you. And again, we will be back. Thank you. Peace. Ciao.